Hey everyone, and welcome to our video tutorial for this Shamrock kick toy. Melba actually does really love it, but she's not super interested just at the moment. But she's been playing with it quite a bit. So we hope you enjoy it. Please like, share and subscribe, and we hope to see you soon. Thanks. Bye. Okay, so to make this Shamrock catnip kick toy, you'll need some yarn. Now I'm using two different colours. I'm using this bulky weight yarn. It's an Ecotex yarn, meaning it's non-toxic. It's dyed with non-toxic materials. Obviously, whatever you choose, it's a good idea to choose something non-toxic. You could use anything from macrame cord to twine, to yarn, to whatever you could double strand some yarn, you can use whatever you like. I'm using two different colors, but you can just use the one color, no problem. Then you'll need a crochet hook that corresponds to your yarn, and I'm using 5.5 millimeters. You'll need some scissors, a darning needle or sewing needle to sew your two parts together. We won't need to be weaving in ends for this project because we'll just tuck them on the inside of the toy. Optionally, some dried catnip. Now you can buy dried catnip or you can grow it. It's actually relatively easy to grow. I've grown this here on our terrace, and I'll crumble this up and put it inside the toy. Even though Melba's she's not really a catnip cat. She doesn't love catnip. It doesn't kind of drive her crazy like I know a lot of cats are by catnip. Alternatively, you can add a spray, like a cat attracting spray. I have one by BFR that Melba really loves. And on some of her toys, I spray it on her toys, and you can spray it into the stuffing as well. So that's also an option. But completely optional. You will just want some stuffing that's non-toxic. I've got this one here, which is a toy stuffing. It's non-toxic. You could use, scraps of yarn. You could use some cotton wool. Whatever you've got that, again, is not toxic for your cat. Okay, so to make this Shamrock kick pillow, sorry, it's a little bit manky already. Melba's already had a good go at it. Which is a good sign, she likes it. So you'll need to know how to make a magic ring, how to make a chain, how to triple crochet, double crochet, single crochet, half double crochet, and then once we've made the two halves, we'll be stitching them together with just a basic stitching technique, and we'll be stitching the two sides of the stem together, and we'll be stuffing it. And no weaving in ends with this one because because they can just all be hidden on the inside. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it. So but definitely beginner friendly if you know those basic stitches and techniques, and let's get started. Okay, so here's one half of the Shamrock that I've made already. So you can see I've used the two different colours. But once again, you can use just one colour. So I'm going to make one exactly the same as this, which is going to be my other half of the toy. So take your colour 1 and you'll make a magic ring. So this is how I do it, but you just do however you do a magic ring. And then we're going to go ahead and chain 3. Okay, and we're going to triple crochet into the ring. So yarn over twice, insert your hook, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Now if you're changing colour, you'll change colour here to colour 2. And you'll just finish off that first triple crochet with your colour 2. Okay, and then just pull your, oops, don't pull your tail. That's not what I wanted to do yet. Just pull on your ends Make sure that's nice and tight in there. Now we're going to do a triple crochet with our next colour. So just leave your colour 1 there and attached, working into the magic ring, triple crochet, and you're going to change back to colour 1, finish off your triple crochet with colour 1, and then you're going to triple crochet a 3rd time into the ring. So it might get a little bit messy with tails and things, but just keep them out of the way. And then you're going to chain 3 and you're going to slip stitch into the ring. Okay, so that's our first part of the first leaf. So we're going to repeat this 3 more times. Okay, so I'm making a 4-leaf clover. You could make a 3-leaf clover if you want. Just repeat this, repeat this 2 more times. But we're going to chain our 3. And if it's not quite enough, you can chain an extra one there. You can chain 4, but for me it's enough. You're going to triple crochet with your colour 1, but finish off with colour 2. So just take it from the back. You don't need to snip the ends. We're just going to leave that in the back of the toy. Then we're going to triple crochet. Just get that tail out of the way. We're going to triple crochet with colour 2. Finish off with colour 1. And then we're going to triple crochet with colour 1. So all of this colour changing, you don't have to do it at all. It's just optional. 1, 2, 3, and then slip stitch. Okay, so repeat that 2 more times, or at least 1 more time, and I'll meet you once I've done 2 more leaves. Okay, so I've got my 4 leaves in there. Now I'm going to find my tail of my magic ring and pull on that. So I'll just take my hook out for a moment there. So pull on your magic ring tail. Make sure you do that at this point. Make sure it's nice and tight. And sometimes you need to give it a good tug. And I'll insert my hook back in there. So now we're changing to, so for this we're doing another round, but we're going to change back to colour, we're going to change to colour 2 for this round. Well, I am. It's up to you if you want to change colour, it's up to you. So we're just going to slip stitch. So in that chain 3, in that first chain, we're going to slip stitch. I'm going to do it using my colour 2. In the next chain we're also going to slip stitch, and then in the 3rd chain we also make a slip stitch. So we're just slip stitching along the chain. In this next stitch, so this is the first triple crochet in the set of 3, we're going to single crochet and then 5 double crochets in that same stitch. So that's 1 and 2, 3 and 4 and 5. So 5 double crochets. So 1 single crochet, 5 double crochets, all in that same first triple crochet. Moving along to that triple crochet in colour 2. So you're just going to slip stitch into that one. And one of the advantages of changing colour is you can easily see that stitch, because it can sometimes get a bit hidden behind all these ones here. So yeah, just a little bonus. So you've slip stitched into the 2nd stitch. In the last stitch you're going to place those 5 double crochets. 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 5, and then a single crochet. So it's just the mirror of what you did on this other side. So 1 single crochet, And then you're going to work those slip stitches down the chain. Okay, so 1, 2, there's my first chain there. So just slip stitch down the chain, just like you did at the beginning. You slip stitched up the chain, just slip stitch down the chain. 1, 2, and 3. And then we're coming up the other side, so find that first chain. 1, so this is, we've moved on to the next leaf now. So, oops, it's a bit, it can be a bit tight in there, especially that first chain. There we go, 1, 2, and 3. And then we're just going to repeat what we've just done. So each leaf will be 1 single crochet in that first stitch, followed by 5 double crochets in that same stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Slip stitch in the next stitch, and then in that last triple crochet of those 3 we'll do our 5 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 5. Single crochet in that same last stitch, and then slip stitching down the chain. And then we're just going to repeat that same process for the last 2 leaves. 1, 2, and 3. Slip stitch into that third chain. So go ahead and finish off your last 2 leaves in exactly the same way. And I'll meet you once we're around here, and then we'll make the stem together. Okay, so I've finished all the way around my leaves, and I'm just going to slip stitch into the first slip stitch I did over on that first side, and I'm going to finish the slip stitch with my colour 1, because I'm going to finish off my stem in colour 1. So to make the stem, chain 7, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. In the third chain from the hook, we're going to double crochet. In the next chain, we're going to do half double crochet. And then in these last 3 chains, just a single crochet. 1, 2, and 3. And then we're going to slip stitch back into the center to attach the stem. Okay, so slip stitch back into the center, and then you can yarn over and pull through. Snip off your yarn. And you can snip off your colour 2 as well. And we'll just tighten all those ends. Tighten if your ring has come undone a little bit, you can tighten that up again too. Flatten out your shamrock. And all of these ends, you can weave them in if you want to, but they can just sit on the inside. And so what we're going to do, we're just going to sew these 2 together. So what I tend to do is I tend to start up at the top here. So up at one of the top edges. So I'm going to take my colour 2 again. and thread my needle. So you want to match up your stitches. Make sure you're stuffing those tail ends in there. It doesn't matter where you start, but I take one of the loops on one side, so you just want to make sure that you're getting the corresponding stitches. Okay, so make sure you work out where those are. So I get one side of, so the inside loop on one side and then the inside loop on the other side. And draw my yarn through. Now you'll have to draw through enough to make sure that you've got plenty to sew all the way around. Not including the stem, because we'll change colour to sew the stem, but you're just going to do a basic stitch. Which way am I going? Yeah, this way. Just a basic stitch, and you could slip stitch if you wanted to do this. I prefer to sew it. I think it comes out more neatly, but you could slip stitch these two together. So you're just going to work your way around sewing the corresponding stitches. And you could sew through both loops if you want to. Once again, I just think it turns out a little bit more neatly if you take those two inner loops. You can see that's looking pretty neat there. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to finish off sewing this piece together. So I'm going to change colour when I'm going to sew the stem together with colour 1. But you want to sew enough, and then once you feel like you've closed it up enough, you're going to start stuffing it with your catnip and your stuffing, whatever you're using for stuffing. So I'm going to go ahead and just sew a little bit more off camera. Close it up a little bit more, and then I'll come back to you when I'm ready to start stuffing. So I'll see you shortly. Okay, so I'm going to start adding a little bit of stuffing in there. So you can add your stuffing, your catnip, your spray. So I'm not actually going to, like I said at the beginning, Melba there's nothing really interesting about catnip for Melba. So I'm going to just spray this one with the spray that she really loves. But you can put your dried catnip inside there. But I'm just going to start stuffing a few of these leaves, and then I'm just going to continue moving around. Now, because I didn't start at the stem, and my stem is a different colour, I'm just going to, when I get down to here, I'm just going to sort of jump across, and then I'm going to do the stem at the end. So I'm just going to keep sewing, and I'm just going to bring my yarn through. Probably I'll put it through here, and then I'll just continue on sewing. But you could have started down here, and you wouldn't have had to do that, but it's no big deal either way. So I've just added a little bit of stuffing in there, and I'm going to continue on with my sewing. So I'll see you shortly. Okay, so I'm still just working around my edge, and I've just skipped over the stem, which, like I said, I'll do later. And I'm just sort of stuffing as I go. Okay, so you can use the end of your crochet hook to stuff your stuffing in there, or just use your fingers, depending on the size of your project. So I'll just get a little bit more stuffing, stuff that into the leaves. So you don't want to overstuff, but don't understuff either. So I'm just getting towards the end here. Stuff that into the top of the leaf. And then I'm just going to keep going a little bit more. So I'm going to continue to work off camera, but you can see that I'm nearly all the way around here. And I'll leave just a small gap before I close it completely to finish with my stuffing. This toy stuffing is really easy to stuff. So I'll just finish off this last little bit and I'll get my stuffing where I want it to be. But you can see that it's looking pretty nice and padded in there. So yeah, I'm just going to finish this last little bit, finish off my stuffing, and I'll meet you and we'll do a little bit of the stem together. Okay, so I'm round at the other side where I started my work. Now what you can do is just feed your needle down into your stuffing, and you can pull it out the other side, and then just snip off your excess, and then stuff. You can use the end of the scissors, but just stuff the end of the tail back inside there. And I'll do the same for the other tail, but let's just move on to the stem. So it's you know, it's just the same thing. You'll just take your colour. Oh, my ring has come undone. Oh no. Oh yeah, don't let that happen. My ring has come undone. Okay, I'm going to have to undo that, or at least try and find my tail to pull. I might be able to find it. That would be the ideal situation. But I'm going to get in there and try and find that tail to pull on. See how that's come undone? You don't want that to happen. The other thing I can do is I can stitch it together, but I'm going to try and find it. So I'll meet you shortly. Okay, I found that tail, and I'm just going to actually... So it probably would have been a good idea to do this earlier, but I'm actually just going to just weave that in and close that securely. So hopefully this hasn't happened to you. But I'm just going to weave that around, make sure it's nice and secure. So you can, yeah, like I said, you could just stitch this again if you wanted to with your colour one. Okay, let's do that. And then I'll put it back through into the inside of the work. Make that nice and secure in there. Okay, so I'm not going to... Oh, there we go. Okay, and I'll get those other ends through as well. And then I'm just going to... I'll put those ends through in a moment. But then we're just going to sew up the stem. If you've done it a different colour like I have, then you'll just... sew it up with the corresponding colour. So, you know, it's just the same as what we did with the outside of the main leaf area. So you'll just sew the corresponding edges together. And you can stuff the stem if you want to. I'm not going to bother to stuff the stem. For me, just with this chunky yarn, it's going to be stuffy enough, puffy enough. So go ahead and finish that off, and I'll meet you once I've tidied up all my ends and sewing this together. But that's basically it, nearly finished. So just, yeah, make sure you're not overstuffing it so you're not seeing all the stuffing on the inside. But I'll just finish my sewing and I'll finish my ends and I'll meet you shortly. Okay, and I've just used that tail end from where I was sewing the stem. I've just used that to close up that gap on the other side. And now I'll just do the same again as what I did before. I'll just push the tail out one of the sides, and then just snip off the excess. Here's my scissors. And I'll do the same for all my other tails as well, and I'll see you in a moment. And there is your little kick pillow toy. Little Shamrock toy. So Melba loves a good kick toy, so just something that she can bunny kick into. So yeah, I think she's going to really enjoy that, and I'm going to spray it with her favourite spray, and I think she'll quite enjoy it. So I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial, just a quick, easy St. Patrick's Day cat toy. So a nice gift for, you know, that kitty in your life. So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed it, and please send us your photos to catventurous.community@gmail.com, or you can tag us on social media at catventurous.crochet. So thanks very much for being here, and we hope to see you soon. Okay, bye.